Welcome to video number 2. In the last video, we created a main scene that told you to press enter in order to get to level 1. If you haven't watched that video, make sure to go back and check it out. Okay, so level 1. The important part in making a platformer game is, well, platforms. And you also need a character and probably some enemies. So we'll start with that. Let's create a character. So in order to do that, we need to head over to the objects panel and make sure you're on level 1. Head over to the objects panel and hit the plus sign. Now we're going to be using Sprite. So you're probably going to be using Sprite quite a lot in making games. So once you hit Sprite, you're going to name your Sprite. And we're going to call him Player. So in order to grab to make it an image, we hit this little plus here. And we can either open an image, or we can create one. And what is bundled with GDevelop, Piscal, if that's how you pronounce it. So you hit edit Piscal, and this is where you're going to be designing your player. I'm just going to go with something very basic. We have our pen sizes up here. It's going to make like a little stick guy. Now, I'm not the best drawer, so bear with me. And wow, he looks unhappy. Okay. So once you have your character, hit save the GDevelop, and this is all we'll have for now. Okay, so we're gonna hit apply. Now we have our player, and we can drag him into the scene. Okay, let's hit play. So he's just sitting here, not doing much, and that's because he's not technically a player yet. So back in the objects panel, click on the 3 dots and go back to edit objects. Now, we're actually not completely finished with the properties yet, but we're actually going to head over to the behaviors first. And the behaviors is how we want our object to perform. So we want to actually perform like a player. So I'm going to hit the little plus here, and we want to select platform character. This is any object that you want to control that can jump and run on a platform. So select that, and you get these additional set fields here. Default controls will leave you with, up, down, left, and right. It's actually up is not a part of it. Space for a jump, left and right are the default controls. You can change the speed of how fast they run, and so forth. We're just going to keep it like this for now. Head back to properties. Now what's really important too is the hitboxes. Let's look at the hitboxes. So this, for the most part, is fine. We can modify this to be a little bit better, but let's get right into platforms so I can show you this in a better scale or perspective. So we're gonna hit apply. Now let's press play now, and our character follows these pretty much a physical being now. So what now we want to do is we want to create a platform. And again, we're going to create a sprite, and I'm going to call this platform. I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to edit in Pisco. And let's make the platforms white. So we will use the paint bucket. And let's actually make the top layer grayish. So let's hope I don't make any mistakes here, because I always do. First time for everything. So we're going to hit save to develop, and this is going to be our platform. What I'm going to do is hit apply. And you know, we can set this up any way we want to. If we want them to jump across here and jump across one more here. And again, you can also right click and copy and paste things just like so if you want to be a little bit quicker. So let's click play, and you'll see he falls right through because we have not given the platform behaviors. So I'll head over to behaviors, and we want to hit the plus sign, and this one's actually going to be platform. So any object that's platformer for characters that you know to run on. So I'm going to hit that, and we actually want to uncheck ledges can be grabbed, but this is up to you. This is like if you're stacking platforms and somebody comes up against a wall, they can jump up against the wall and potentially get stuck, or they could potentially just sit on the wall, which is kind of awkward. So it's probably best to just uncheck this, and we can go on with from there. So we're gonna hit apply and hit play now, and now our guy is a platform object, and we can jump across to each block here. Okay. So now we're gonna add a collectible. So let's go and add a new sprite, and let's say in our game our guy collects a ball. Let's make it really easy for us here. I'm gonna edit with the Pisco, and just gonna change the ball color to a nice green, and that's fine. And I'll hit save the GDevelop. And I'll just drag this one in here, and he'll be here. So let's say we wanted our ball to be a little bit smaller than this. This is quite a big object to collect when you're this size. If you head over to custom size, you can change the properties of it for the width and height. So that's quite an improvement here. He's now certainly a collectible size. Okay, so this is where the topic of collision comes in, and you'll also see the reason for hitboxes as well. Let's click play. Okay, so our dude just kind of goes behind it and doesn't recognize it. So in order to make it recognize, we need to do so in the level 1 events. So we haven't added any events yet, so again, let's create a new group and name this one main. And in the last video, we just actually just right clicked and went and add we're gonna add new event below. I'm gonna bring it over, And then we're going to check a collision. So a lot of times you can quickly get to things that you want in the common conditions for all objects. So we're going to click that. You're going to locate the collision topic, click that, and you're going to click on collision. So this is going to show you two fields. You want to check to see which two objects collide. So we want to see if the player collides with the ball. Okay. So this just says if the player is in collision with the ball, and this will constantly check until it is true, then we want to do something with the ball. So or do something with anything really. And one thing I like to do is using the delete an object feature, and we want to delete the ball. And essentially it's just once we collide with it, the ball will disappear. So I'm now going to show you the reason why we need hitboxes and why they're important. Well, actually that was a bad example. Let me just modify this here, and again, you know, you can change the width and height of the platform. Those controls, let's put them over there. Okay, let's play one more time, and let's get close to it. And as you can see, the ball disappeared. I didn't actually touch it, and that's because our hitbox for our character is actually way farther than our actual character. So once we edit our player, we want to go to edit hitboxes, and we can see that the collision starts here instead of at the finger or the hand. And in order to do this, we need to use a custom collision mask, and hit the little plus sign, and it's going to give us this little like draggable box here that we can, you know, actually add a field. So that's not too bad. Try to get as close as can. They should really make a zoom for this part because you cannot see anything really. It's hard to see. Oh, that should be good enough. And just once you have that, just hit close and apply. Now let's play our game again, and the ball will disappear when our guy touches him. And as you see there, he does vanish. So one more thing before I end this video is I am going to show you the basic principles of global variables, and that's going to show you how many balls were collected. So head over to your game option panel, head over to the global variables, and we're going to create a new one. Let's call this balls collected, and we're going to start off with the value being 0. Okay, and let's see, what we're going to do is we're going to collect we're going to display to the screen how many we've collected. What we want to do is click on the plus, and we want to create a new text, and we'll say, call this balls collected number. And this can pretty much be anything right now, but we'll make it 0. I'll put it here. Now, there's actually an additional important piece to this, because if we, actually in this example it doesn't really matter too much, But once we start getting more in depth, we'll see that this will just leave the screen, and we don't want that. So we'll get into layers into another video. Okay, so what we want to do is, so when the player is in collision with the ball, delete the object, but we also want to add 1 to our global variables. So so you want to hit add action, and you want to find the variables topic, go to global variables, and you want to say value of a global variable. So ball's collected, it takes the current value, and we want to actually add 1 to it. Okay, so now at this point, when we collide with the ball, it is actually making a difference to how many we've collected. Okay, so again, collect it. It actually becomes 1 at this point, even though it's not showing it. It is exactly 1. So what we want to do is we want to update this field. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new event below, and we're actually not going to check for a condition in this value in this time. We're just going to create an action that's automatically going to run no matter what. So we're going to go to, let me see here, I think it's under text. Text object, modify the text is equal to, and this is really neat too. Here we have this little drop down here, and it gives us all these sorts of features that we can deal with. So we're gonna go to variables and go to global variables and hit balls collected and hit done. And now I'll press OK and hit play. So now when we collect the ball, it changes to 1. And we can do this, we can add multiple balls to our scene. Copy this and we'll paste this here. So when we collect them, it'll become 2. Just like so. Alright, I hope that was understandable. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video where we'll be adding enemies and lives.